Captured in a cotton field back on the other side of that big tree there. And thanks in no small part to a man who was just driving by doing his job. South of Coolidge to check on some broken gates. Then he looked to his left and couldn't believe his eyes.
A little bit more, I stopped, and I clicked in my head. I said, oh my God, they're the inmates that escaped.
Joe tracked the two men for a few minutes, both wearing the same orange pants covered in mud. This is video he shot from his cell phone. One man running, the other running out of steam.
One guy was really tired. He kept bending over, coughing, throwing up. And the other guy stayed ahead of him. When
Joe realized who they were and what was happening, he called 911 and then had to convince the operator he was right.
I mean, are you sure it's them? Are you sure it's them? I said, yes, who else would be out here?
Authorities arrived within 10 minutes to capture the fugitives before they got away again. Joe says he's happy he played a small but important role in catching them, and he's also well aware of the reward money, $70,000, that could soon be his.
Hopefully, see what happens, see how that turns out.
Started as a typical Thursday morning. So as you take another look at the officers out here on the scene, I should say we're probably about 10 miles away from Florence, where the state prison is, where these men escaped on Saturday. But they've been out here all day. There's a drone out here. They've been checking the houses. They've been talking to a family who we believe lives here. And as for Joe, the man we interviewed about that possible reward money that he may get, he's already thinking about what he might use it on. He said he would pay some bills, help out his mother a little bit, and probably take a pretty cool trip somewhere.
Brian, just wanted to ask as well, where are these two inmates now that they've been recaptured? Where are they tonight? Where do we, where would we find them? Are they somewhere up there, or are they here in Phoenix?
I believe they've been taken back to Phoenix in DPS custody. They moved pretty quick on this. We've had some other stories running today about some of the body cam footage that we're already seeing of when these men were taken down from the cotton field back there. Pretty dramatic things to see. And as you heard Joe say, you know, at least one of the guys was pretty pooped out. He didn't want to run anymore. When police found him, he was bent over trying to catch his breath, and he was done running. The other man, maybe not quite so much, but certainly was an exhausting day for them. And there are a lot of questions, you know, about what they've been doing the past few days. How did they get out here? Where did they hide out? How did they get food and water? And possibly, did they get any help along the way? All those questions will need to be answered before this story is completely done.
And Brian, just lastly for you, how far is that from the correctional facility itself? Kind of give us an idea, mile radius wise.
Yeah, this is Coolidge, about 10 miles away from the state prison in Florence where those men escaped. Remember, they left on Saturday, and then we had a spot of bad, cool, rainy weather. So it probably has not been fun if, in fact, they were on foot the entire time, trying to make their way through these fields and on these dirt roads, trying to find some shelter. There's really not much out here in between Coolidge and Florence, except some farmhouses and maybe some industrial buildings here and there. So it couldn't have been a fun past few days for these guys on the run.
Yeah, that's right, Brian. Like you mentioned at the update today, we aired on NewsNOW. A lot of the law enforcement officials said that they were a little out of shape. They couldn't really run that fast. Even one said that one of the inmates said, "Just shoot me," when they were coming up on him and trying to apprehend him. So I thought that was really interesting as well. And they did say the rain kind of impeded their search. It's very rare to get rain, and so that was kind of hampering their search efforts as well. Brian Webb from Fox 10, we thank you so much for bringing us this story there live on the scene, which looks pretty still active.
Well, yeah, authorities have been here all day. I think the first 911 call came in around 9 or 9:30. We arrived maybe 11:30 or so, and authorities were already out here. There was a bigger bunch of them maybe a few hours ago, but still, like I said, we probably have at least 12, maybe 15 cars out here, and it doesn't look like they're going anywhere anytime soon.
All right, Brian, thank you so much. We'll talk to you again. All right, just a really interesting story that we've been touching on all day, really, here on News Now from Fox. And when we played out that briefing from law enforcement officials, I took the time to highlight what they were in prison for to begin with, because I don't think the officials there at the press conference from DPS mentioned it, but they were essentially David Harmon and John Charpiot were serving heavy, lengthy sentences for various crimes, including child sexual assault and kidnapping, facing a lot of years in prison, managed to escape,